Hey everyone, welcome to the For Animals for Earth show. This is episode number 70. It's entitled Belize EcoTourism, and I'm joined by Captain Amado Watson. Hey there. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hi. So, what you guys don't know is Amado and I have been working to make this interview happen for 6 months. So we are both very, very excited
Yeah, that's right.
to be here and making it happen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Brandy Heidi Montague. I'm the founder of For Animals for Earth, and I hosted this show where I interview various people around the world who inspire me. They're doing something within their daily lives to help animals or the environment, human beings. Today, Amado is someone who I just can't wait to introduce you all to. We met in November, as I said. I went on one of his tours and I was immediately impressed by your obvious passion for the ocean, for life, for animals' lives, for joy. I loved being a part of it. You're the owner of Caulker Reef Friendly Tours, which is based in Belize, and it's an eco-conscious and animal-conscious tour company that I can't wait for you to tell us more about. So I really want to just get started with painting a picture for everybody of where you live. I'm thinking, can you describe Caulker? Can you describe Belize and what you love most about the place you call home?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. Actually, it feels like an honor having been given the opportunity to do this, especially by someone like you who shares the same passion like us about caring about what's around us, basically, the environment, um, and we want to keep this for future generations. So Belize is a very, very small country. It is the only English speaking country in Central America. Um, we are bordered to the north by Mexico, to the west and south by Guatemala. So we're in the Caribbean right there. Um, Caye specifically is an island off the coast of Belize. It's an hour boat ride from the mainland, from the city of Belize. And Caye is basically paradise. It's a very small island. The population runs for about 2,500 people. The island at its widest point is only a half a mile wide. And there's points where you can see from one side to the other of the island, which is tells you how small it is. Um, it's a very tight knit community. Everyone knows everyone, and we are faced to the east by the beautiful Caribbean Sea, and right along Caulker, going up north and south, you will find the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef System. Um, One of the things I love the most about this little island, is that you're basically living what people pay for every day. People come vacation here, and we have this beautiful island to live in every day. Um, Something that fascinates me is that if I want to get something to eat, if I want to eat some fish, it's very easy for me to have access to that. Within a half an hour, I can go out on my boat and get a fish to eat, which is something that not everyone can do.
It's very true. It's very true. And it's so incredibly beautiful there. And I know there's history. I want to say it was back in 2001, maybe, where there was a massive storm. I think I want you to tell us this because I obviously do not know the history well. But there was a point where the reef was kind of destroyed, right? All along the coast there. And it was kind of a hopeless feeling, I think, for a lot of people, like it may never come back. But Belize is well known around the world for bringing this reef back to life. I'm wondering if you can share a little bit of, that history from what you've learned and what you've experienced being there.
So about that particular storm, um, the reef in itself is, there's several types of reefs. The one that we have is known as a barrier reef for a reason. So if you were to just walk along the island, you would see there's a just long line of white caps, which is basically the Caribbean Sea crashing against our reef. So the reef forms as a barrier, as a protection from all these storms, because if it wasn't there, all these storms would just come and wipe out all these islands that we have here. So the reef serves as a barrier, as a protection for us. Um, and they do indeed, these hurricanes, they damage a lot of our reef. We have to keep in mind coral reef systems are very, very fragile. They're very sensitive. So it's not only the wind factor, it's the waves, it's the surge that causes all the sand that would accumulate and cover the coral, suffocating it. So at that particular point in time, it was a hopeless feeling because a lot of people would think that it wouldn't come back, because we're so much dependent on the barrier reef, not only for food, but for jobs. That's the main thing here for us.
So people, it's interesting because it's one of the main jobs, and I guess that's for tourism. And is that because they want to come see this magnificent kind of reef and the animals that surround it? Is that why that becomes the main job source?
Yes. Right now, everyone wants to come and see what's out there. You know, um, many of the reefs around the world right now are gone. That's just a fact. Unfortunately, they're gone. Our reef here in Belize is still very much alive, and a lot of people from around the world. I've met people from almost every country in the world that has come to Belize with the purpose of visiting our reef, seeing all the corals, seeing all the fish, all the turtles, all the animals, the sharks that we have there.
Mhm. And why do you think Belize's reef is still alive and thriving? Do you think it's just like luck of nature, or is there something that is specifically done in Belize to keep it alive?
I don't think it's just luck. I think because we rely on the reef so much, a lot of people would lean more to protecting the reef because it's what gives us our bread and butter on a daily basis.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Which is pretty cool, It's like maybe that's what we need everywhere in the world with nature, like
Yeah,
more reliance upon it so that we as humans find that drive to get out there and work hard to protect it, right?
yeah.
Um I know that you're passionate about protecting the animals there. And you told me a story, and I wonder if you're willing to share this. You told me a story about your dad and how he ended up starting the tour company that you now run. And it's different than a lot of the other companies around because of that specific passion for protecting the animals and for protecting the reef. So I wonder if you'll share that story.
Yeah, of course. So my dad, I'm actually junior, Amado Junior. He's Amado Senior, and he used to work for many other companies in the past, you know. But he told me there was this particular instance. I mean, he used to do the same things like before. He tells me this specific situation when he used to go out and he tells people, "You guys are not allowed to touch anything out on a reef." Yet he says, I used to go and grab a shark, and if the shark doesn't want to be held, I squeeze it more just so people can pet it. And he says one day, he said he did it, over and over, but this was like way back. And he used to do this, and he said one day I after everyone already pet the animal, I see the shark just slowly went down and leaned against a coral. And he said, I kept looking at this shark and I said to myself, this is not right. I'm hurting this animal. And he said that was like the point when he said something's wrong. And that's when he said, I'm not going to do this anymore because I'm hurting this animal. So he decided not to do it anymore. He decided not to chum the water anymore. And that was his turning point. So he went back to his boss and he said, well, here's the bag of food. I'm not going to give it to the animals. I'm not going to touch them anymore. And that's when they said, okay, that's fine. You're fired. And then he said, that was when he said, that's the best thing they ever did to me. Because that's when he opened his own business. And everything is just completely the opposite of what he used to do.
Wow. I mean, it's so amazing to think of the bravery, and then also it's heartwarming to know that there are enough people out there that supported, that came and, purchased his tours and supported his business and continue to support your business and keep it going, because for everyone who's listening and watching, when I was there with Amado, we were perhaps the only boat that was not throwing the chum into the water and touching the sharks. And, I feel very, I have a lot of gratitude for the fact that somewhere along the way in my life, I learned to not touch wildlife and not make them, come and be in my picture or,
Yeah.
whatever,
Well,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. There is no need um for us to be touching these animals. I see a lot of people always saying, oh, it's just a little pet. But where do we get the idea that these animals want us to pet them?
It's a
You
good
see,
question.
yeah, it's like we just come up with these things as humans to please ourselves. Oh, I got a picture with this animal, bro. And there's nothing that supports, oh, this animal wants me to come and pet it or touch it or any of these things.
Right, right. No, it's true. And also I want everyone to know that we went to this same shark alley. So this same area where other boats are throwing things in and bringing the sharks up to touch them. And we got in the water and we swam. And I have to tell you, like, it was a mind-blowing experience for somebody who has never swam in the sea with sharks surrounding them, probably 50 sharks. And we're swimming and we're minding our own business and they're minding their own business. And it was, to me, I would imagine, at least I feel, it was a much more moving experience than being on the boat and sticking my hand down and touching the shark. Um,
Yeah.
it's just so, there's so much value I think that we can experience as humans if we try to tiptoe as lightly as we can and as quietly as we can in these natural environments and just observe.
Yeah, I think that specifically when it comes to this area, there is no need for the chumming. You can get in the water and look at these animals behaving naturally. And I think that once we learn to appreciate, to look at these animals doing their own thing, you would come to realize that us as humans, we have a lot to learn.
I think we
It
certainly do.
yeah. You'd come to appreciate, to see an animal doing its own thing, being in its own element, in its own environment, than rather seeing these animals having to do a show or someone doing a show with them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you know, if anybody's listening and watching and not quite following, you know, what we're talking about, this one specific thing we're talking about is in this kind of shark ray alley that's near Belize, and chum is you know, fish in different kind of food that would be thrown into the water to bring the sharks up. So what I want everyone to know is there's an alternative to that. You
Exactly.
don't need to go on a tour like that. You can go with Amado and you can have a different experience. And I just want to make sure that that part's like really clear,
Yeah.
because sometimes I think we sit and we talk and we think everything is like this. Everything is more respectful of the animals now because there's more awareness and things have changed. But not all tours are the same, and you do have to kind of like do some diligent work to find something that is different.
Yeah, I really like what you said there, Brandy, that not all tours are different. And I respect anyone who makes their own choice. You know, you can book your tour anywhere, or you can decide where to go, who to go to. But I like what you said, that now there's a choice, because a lot of people go out there and then when they see that the chumming is happening, they were like, "Oh, I didn't notice." You know, but now there is a choice. Now you have the option to choose to go on something on sorry on something like that, or you have the option to do the thing a more environmentally friendly kind of way.
Yeah, thank you for giving us that choice. And I want you to share also, like, what are some of the other things about your tour company that might be different, that are
Okay,
more environmentally friendly or animal friendly?
so being different is not a bad thing. Being different is good, you know. Um, on our tours, we try our best to encourage all of our guests. To start off, we try to go early in the morning. Now we're starting to run tours at 8:30 in the morning, which is the earliest tour that goes out of Caulker. So we go out at 8:30, which is 2 hours before anyone else is out there. So we're the only boat out there, um, which is something different. You can go early in the morning. You don't have the place to yourself. Another thing that makes us different is that we encourage for you to bring your water bottle.
Okay.
There's so many plastic around, not just in Caulker, in the entire world. And we find that many people that travel around, they have their water bottles. So you can bring your water bottle when you book a tour with us, and we have a 5 gallon container at our office. So right before you go out, you can refill your bottle there, and we don't have to make any more plastic, any more garbage around us. You know,
That's
so
wonderful. Yeah.
this is some practices that can be done anywhere, not only here, but you know, everyone. If you have a water bottle, make use of it. You know, if there's refill stations around you, um, why not? You know, there's so many. We always hear about people talking about there's garbage patches around the ocean that 2 or 3 times the size of football fields. You know, and a lot of the plastic, if not most of it, goes in the ocean. So what our aim is, um, when we ask people to bring their water bottles, we want to reduce the amount of garbage being produced. So we don't have to buy water in little plastic bottles to give everyone. Imagine if we keep doing this every day. If we take that's only us. If we take 8 people every day, there's so many companies that do tours out there. There's over, I would say, 500 people there every day. So imagine 500 bottles of water being produced just there every day.
Yeah.
So our aim is to just reduce that. Bring your water bottle with us. You refill it. If you run out of water, we have some more gallons that we refill it on the boat for you. You know, those are small things that makes a big difference for us.
It really does. And you know, it's just an interesting point because even any of us when we travel anywhere, I mean, this is something that we just started doing a few years ago that one day my husband was like, why aren't we taking our bottles every single day we leave the house? Like why? And it's amazing. You're right. Like we very, very, very rarely now see a plastic bottle of water. And it's just so simple to just be like, okay, here's my thermos. And every time I leave the house, every time I travel, I throw it in. And it really does. It makes, and on tours, you're right, because so many different times I've gone to tours or events and they have all these bottles of water and you just
Yeah.
cringe, right? Yeah, you really
And
do.
even with the food, um, now some people are offering a small lunch on board, like a small little uh, chicken burger or something like that. Just a few years ago, there was at least 50 to 70 people just out of Caulker daily in the marine reserve, and they were taking one little burger in a big foam plate.
Mm,
And not too long ago, all the garbage was just burnt here on the island.
okay.
Now they're starting. Now we have a system where some of it is recycled
Okay.
and some of it is taken for landfill elsewhere. But we are glad to say that Caulker Reef Friendly Tours was the first company to eradicate the giving out of water in plastic bags and plastic bottles, and we stopped with the giving foam plates out, the food in the foam plates. We use reusable containers now, and we're happy to say that a lot of the other companies are following our footsteps. So that's something that is really, it feels good. It feels good that all these other guys are realizing, we don't have to make all this garbage. So it's a good feeling that everyone is following us, following our footsteps.
Yeah, that is really amazing. And I think it just goes to speak to how any of us can just behave in a way that aligns with our passions and our values and influence the people around us just by what we do every day in the world. That's really, really cool to hear. Um, as far as other kind of conservation things going on around there, I know that you've volunteered with an animal rescue or animal welfare group. I can't even remember which one it was. But I wonder if you can just quickly touch on any other like passions you have around animal conservation there.
Yeah, so really quick, there's a place up north here in Belize on the mainland called Wild Tracks. And this place is a manatee rehabilitation center. It's a very, very unique place. I encourage anyone that's listening or that's looking, if you guys have the time, it's a very good place. These people are doing an excellent job with the manatees, which is an endangered species of marine mammals. Um, they take them in, rehabilitate them, and release them some years after, and release them back into the wild. They're doing an amazing job with these endangered species of marine mammals. Um, there is a local group here in Caulker called the Caulker Mangrove Project Strong, and these guys, it's spearheaded by Miss Ali. She's she's amazing. I can't. This woman is simply doing an amazing job, taking her own time to plant mangroves around the island, because these mangroves serve a great purpose, not
Mm.
only for preventing of the erosion, but they also serve as a nursery for all the small fish, all the, the lobsters, all the sharks that you see out there. Everything starts life in the mangrove roots. So this is why they're very important, and she's the one that's spearheading this project.
That's amazing. And we will link to those. I will link to those in the notes wherever y'all are watching this. It'll be in the description. Um, so wrapping up, one of the things that is just like something I always do is I ask the people that I interview if they will share one simple idea to make a difference for animals and the environment that pops into their head. Do you have one thought that you can share with us?
So this is something that I've been doing myself. Simply say no. So when you go to a grocery store, or at least it happens here in Belize, when you go to a grocery store, people are immediately going to put all your stuff in a plastic bag. Just say no. Have a reusable bag. You know, even when people go out clubbing or whatever, say before the waiter comes or takes my order, I said, please don't put any straws on my drink. I don't want any. It's just very simple things that it goes a long way. Like the water bottle thing again. We don't need to make that extra garbage. I think if we all work together, if we all tackle this, there's is gonna be a very big difference around for sure.
Mm. Yeah, that's a great idea because it really is something we can do all the time. And I feel like every time you say no, the people around you get to experience that. And there's something that happens within us as well, right? It gets easier each time.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
yeah, easier. And I was just thinking the awareness, right? Of even catching it. Like you said, catching it before they bring the straw or catching it
yeah.
before it happens. Yeah, that's such a
So
great
that
idea.
that that would, like, with the straw thing, that would even. So I did this once with a waiter, and I told him, I don't need any straws with my drink. Just bring it in a glass cup, and that's it. And I was like, you should start and ask people if they want a straw or not. So
Yeah.
maybe some people, like, it may be hesitant not to say no, I don't want a straw. So maybe now they'll be like, okay, fine, I won't take it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. So how can everybody get a hold of you? What is the best way to contact you if someone has a follow-up question, or hopefully if they want to book a tour, what's the best way to find you?
Um, so we are on Facebook. We have a Facebook page as Caulker Reef Friendly Tours. Um, we have an Instagram account. Or the best way, I know most people right now are using WhatsApp,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and I have a phone number that is directly linked to me that I answer whatever questions or whatever concerns they might have, um, or just email. We have an active email that
Okay.
anyone can email us at any time.
Perfect. Okay. So all of those things will be linked below. And if you're listening, you can get to the show notes at Four Animals. Sorry. Clearly, fouranimalsforearth.com/podcast/70, the number 70. So you guys can get to that from anywhere, and that will have links to everything that we've talked about, as well as how to get a hold of Amado. He and I text back and forth on WhatsApp, so I can attest to the fact that he answers. It's there. You can talk to him. Thank you so much for coming on, chatting with me. Like I said, I cannot say enough how much I believe in the work you're doing. I don't think it's
Thank you.
easy to go against the grain like that, and it really does inspire me.
It, I mean, first off, thank you for having me. I think this is a really great opportunity, and like I said in the beginning, I feel honored to be part of this. And you're right, it's not easy. There are some days where we do get discouraged, because we do feel like some people don't understand, or some people don't care about the environment or the work that we're doing. But we're gonna still keep pushing, um, because of people like you, people that do care. There's a lot of people out there that we believe that still do care, that support us, and it is not easy. Definitely not easy, but it's rewarding to know that we're doing the right thing.
I completely agree. It's funny, just these conversations, this is what keeps me going because I burn out and I get discouraged as well. And it's like every time I get to connect with somebody like you, it's like that boost we need. And we all need to do it. Like everybody
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
here right now with us, like please, like we need to support each other and keep pushing because things are changing. They really are. And
Oh
more
yeah.
people are getting on board. So yeah. Thank you again. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
And
you.
I'll be back soon. Bye.